Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade in
Shade
the
in the
City.
City.
I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are jumping into our review of season 5, episode 4 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So welcome back, Shade Squad, and welcome new viewers. If you have not already, please hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And you guys, let's get into, I actually really enjoyed Marcel this episode.
Martell
I don't know what it
the
is.
highlight of the season.
If he's turning over a new leaf, maybe they're just, I don't know. I really am enjoying Marcel.
Just because he's funny doesn't mean he's not a cheater.
Stop it. I don't know. I'm just really like
he's funny.
Anyway,
that's what it is. He's a funny guy. And I mean, yes, he's a highlight. To me, he's been the highlight of the season.
Yes, he has so far.
They are showing him in a new light. They're not necessarily bringing up all his indiscretions.
Maybe that's what it is. All right, y'all, let's get into it and let's get shady. Open this episode up with Tisha and Marceau visiting the land that they plan to build Scott Manor
on. Dreamland.
The Dreamland, and that's what it looked like. Never, never, never land. Because there's never nothing on it when we see it, but some trees and shit.
Some trees and some dirt and some rocks.
But I mean, we all got to start somewhere. So let me not shame. At least they got the land to build it on. I ain't even got that.
And they got the funds.
Right. And they got
we know they got the funds.
So Marceau was telling Tisha that, they're still a long way from where they need to be before the home is inhabitable. Because Tisha's like, I just can't wait till we can get people out here and get the
up on
the wall and the pool.
You know who that was given? You.
No.
I swear, when I saw that scene, I said, yo, that would be the trees.
I was know what you're talking about.
I was like, they ain't nothing, no structure, no nothing built. And I can see trees like, yeah, my closet would go there and our great kitchen would be over here. And I'm like, she would be able to see it in all this dirt and trees.
I just believe in the power of manifestation. That's all. So now Tisha's ready to get the ball moving. Marceau brings up construction expenses and talks about how Huntsville has become the #1 city in America to live.
Oh, did he say #1? I missed that. I know he said people are moving down there and buying up houses and it's bringing the prices up. But I didn't know.
It's the #1 city.
He's a smart man. So you know what? I'm
gonna trust it. If he said well, I don't know if I'm a believe it's Marceau, so I'm gonna Google after this. But anyway, so they say
I don't think their crime rate is too bad down there either. So I mean, people might be look, it might get worse because people move from all over the place.
I was gonna say they say with COVID and switching architects, this is one of the biggest challenges that they face. However, Marceau says that Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're still here sitting and talking about Rome. So therefore, and he lets us know that greatness is never easy. Now, he talks about giving something up to gain something. And Tisha's like, I like that, baby. That's real cute. So Tisha brings up how she wants to invest in Miss Wanda's food truck. And Marceau tells her he thinks this is a very bad idea to invest in a business that is not properly set up. Again, I'm feeling Marceau this season. I was feeling him last season with the food truck. I just didn't get it. Marceau tells her, he thinks it's a poor business decision to invest in a truck that won't work. And Tisha says that Miss Wanda told her that she got a new battery and drove it around. Marceau's like, that's a lie. I believe that's a lie. And Tisha is confused and it's like, why would you think that she would lie about something like that? And he was like,
invest.
Right. And so he was like, I bet $100 to a bucket of trash.
When he said that,
I said, I love that. I'm using that.
When he said that, I was like, is that some country term? I ain't never
country backwards.
I have never in my life heard that. I actually ran it back.
A bucket of trash.
I ran it back to make sure I heard it correctly.
I did too.
$100 to a bucket of
trash. I bet you if I asked one of my country cousins, they'd be like,
I'm gonna need somebody to break that down to me though.
I didn't understand. Look, so
Tisha get what he's saying.
Shay Scott, anybody from Huntsville, please drop down in the comments and please tell us what This is supposed to mean
$100 to a bucket of trash.
To the bucket of trash. So Tisha's like, so since we out here betting, you out here, you really believe Martell has changed? Are you betting on that? And Marcel says that he didn't say that. Tisha feels like, he's being negative when it comes to supporting Miss Wanda, but is on board to give Martell another chance. And Marcel feels like Martell is a good person at his core and that they can grow part of the company, basically. Tisha feels like, although Martell apologized, she still feels like he said what he said. And, she's still upset that he out here suggesting Marcel got 20 girlfriends. She's like, we have a family. He tried to destroy us. So, she's like, I just feel like that's something within him. That's in his spirit. That's who he is. And Marcel disagrees and feels like Martell was just in an extreme situation. And
that's not who he is every day.
Right. Now, Tisha points out,
I guess you don't believe.
How he has patience for Martell, but no patience for Miss Wanda.
I loved his answer.
I did too. Marcel says, because when he's talking to Martell, he's talking about business. He isn't trying to show him pictures or overtalk him and be crazy. He feels like he can have an intelligent conversation with Martell and move forward, whereas Miss Wanda talks like she needs a spanking. I said,
she didn't really have a rebuttal for that.
She did. So in the confessional, Marcel says there is something that Miss Wanda brings to the table: salt, pepper, and napkins.
How did I miss this?
He did say that. He said he feels like Martell brings a lot more than that. Now Tisha questions whether Martell is good at business, and Marcel feels like Martell is good at business and offers enough positive. And obviously Tisha still is on the fence and not convinced. And she plans on speaking with Martell on her own. She lets Marcel know this, and I loved this scene because Marcel says he wants to set some parameters for their meeting and lets her know not to get drunk and be at the hotel with her back out. I said no. Tisha says she plans to meet up at Black, and Marcel says he feels some type of way. Tisha's going on a date with a known cheater, and says he doesn't want her to get hurt. He says, but no. On a serious note, he hopes to do business together. So he hopes that the meeting goes well. Plus, he knows Tisha is a good girl on the first date. And Marcel says, I'll tell you right now, I'll leave you for some rumors. I said, okay, Marcel. I just thought it was so like how he could
it just rolls off the tongue
and make it a funny. And they can laugh about it now. Because we know that's your bag.
That's his bag.
He made several back jokes this episode.
Yes, he did. So Martell is going out to a lot that he can find, he can finally do some work, and he plans on building a house after a year and a half. Huh?
No license. How do you? I was wondering that the whole time, the whole scene.
And
you know what I thought was real funny? He was out there. I feel like he was acting. Like they said, we're gonna go out to this lot and we're gonna shoot you, but you're not really gonna be doing nothing. That's why he was like, Melnika, I need you to pull up after 5 minutes because the sun is hot out here. And so and then we're gonna walk over to the truck and have a conversation. And I'm gonna show you.
He was getting tutored for the builder's license.
You think for a second that if he didn't pass that test, that we wouldn't know about it?
That's what I'm saying. He never mentioned taking the test. He never mentioned if he, what happened with that.
Hence why they stood on the land for 5 minutes and then walked back over to the truck to have a conversation that had nothing to do with that house. I said what I said. Okay.
Okay.
Y'all can believe that bullshit if y'all want to.
So
unless Sheree got a builder's license, Martell can't build nothing. And we know she ain't got that.
She got shots at Sheree. She got she by Sheree.
Barely. Go ahead.
So he invited Melnika to come out so they can discuss the wine business and he can update her on the rumors that's going around the rumor mill. Martell lets Melnika know that the event, that he wants to have in Huntsville, it has to outdo the one that they had in Atlanta. And, he wants to acknowledge all his family, aunts, uncles, grandmama, sisters, cousins, brothers. Okay. Martell tells Melnika that there's a rumor going around that they slept together. And in case, you or your husband hear it, it came from Melody. Like, damn, you're a little snitch, ain't you?
He's like, I'm
Melnika,
just trying to let you know it won't me. And I guess but it's crazy because it's like you supposed to be trying to get on good terms with Mel, but you had no problem throwing her ass under the bus.
he
But
threw her way under the bus.
I
Melnika
can't
seems
say Mel wouldn't have done the same. So
he's trying to get on good terms with her, not the other way around.
okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Melnika seems a little taken aback, and she said she's never had an issue with Melody, and explains that it's always been professional. And Mel, she said Mel even sung at her mom's funeral, and even spoke at some of her events. She says she just feels that hurt people, and she says she would never speak negative about Mel, or in a negative light, because she's never showed her that. She has nothing negative to say about her. But she doesn't think that it's fair that her husband should have to question the relationship that was always business. I said, boom. Okay. Melnika
I do
says,
kind of feel for her that it's kind of messed up because then your husband's always going to question what was the nature of the relationship. So I do feel like
and
that was
then
kind of
something
dirty.
else. I think something else came out that possibly the husband did not know.
Mm-hmm.
Melnika says that she believes that the rumor started because she quit as her wedding planner because of the confusion at the wedding. She says that her assistant complained that Martell tried to talk to her, and Melody came in asking who wanted him. And she was like, well, don't nobody want your man. Like, she says that she respectfully bowed out of that messy situation. And it was not 2 weeks before, it was months in advance, and she had her mom handle it. So really, she feels like Melody shouldn't have really felt no type of way. Martell says that they haven't even been sexual since high school. So why would they be sexual since now that they're married? I said, sir, why did you even need to say that? Why? And she says that it doesn't even matter. She hasn't slept with him, and she doesn't want to sleep with him. And said, basically, can't nobody check her on who she's sleeping with. Check me now, boo. Martell says,
I think your husband can check you on who you sleep with.
Ooh. So Martell was like, hold on, you don't want to sleep with me? That's what you're saying? He said, it's over. You know what? It's over.
I love her response. I don't want that. You out
She's like, sir, you out here making babies. She said, you need counseling. He said, well, didn't you cheat too? She was like, I don't recall. He was like, you know what? You sound a lot like Mel. I said, just the shade.
Her exact words were, you were out here cheating, making babies, and causing confusion. I don't want none of that. Okay. I'm good. She said, I don't want that double dick. Okay.
It's clearly not double dick.
So we see Melody.
I already knew you wanted to get into this. I knew you.
Out here cleaning her yard, and Miss Van comes to join her, y'all. Now, I can be honest with y'all. I wasn't deep in the trenches when this first started. So, I'm not deep rooted in this drama, but now I am. Okay. So apparently Miss Van is, I don't want to say she's been out here in these streets because I don't want to be disrespectful to my elders. You know what I'm saying? It's Miss Van. But, apparently she did an interview, and, Mel is telling her how proud she is of her. And, she said that apparently in the interview, she addressed Miss Wanda and her speaking on Melody. And Miss Van said that, ignorance can't be understood, explained, or reasoned with. And sometimes you have to leave people where they're at. I said, okay. That was very classy. Clap back. Go ahead. Mel said she was in and out, but said she was proud of her mama and, put it out there. And Mel says in the confessional that she likes her mom getting her own spotlight, but hates that she has to defend her because people are always coming for her. Mm-hmm. So she said, but, that's the part of being, a proud mama bear. And, that's what she's going to do, is protect her baby. So she brings up her post with oh no, it's messing up. Come back. Okay. So she brings up her post that apparently she made, where she posted Tisha in Mel's team wife shirt. Now, I do believe that there was some controversy about this because it was like, why is she wearing Mel? Like, you know what I mean? And y'all not even cool, whatever. But anyway, Miss Van says she thought she wasn't doing it to drag Mel into no bull. She thought it was a marketing opportunity. Now, Mel questioned her again and was like, so you weren't doing it to be shady? And she was like, well, I just feel like everybody else can poke and prod and say what they want and be malicious. So, I could throw a little, slight shade. And then Mel brings up a post that Marceau came back with. And apparently he had reposted, I guess, a picture that this is the big contra. Apparently Miss Van took it. Some people say Mark took it. When I refer to Mark, I am talking about Mark Scott, apparently, which is Marceau and Maurice's brother.
We find out who it is because Mel didn't want to tell
Mel
us.
said, she ain't speaking on it. She's not saying it. She said next.
But guess what they did? They ran that clip back and we found out exactly who the hell that was.
So apparently they found, the Coke bottles with the names on them. Apparently he found one with her name and hit, his last name and put it together. And Miss Van does kind of talk about how, he said his mama said his next wife was going to be a woman named Vanessa and he was going to be very happy. And she said that she asked Tisha, or was telling Tisha, because she felt like he was moving a little fast. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know what it is? I'm just realizing Miss Van is classy. And she's also country class, like that old school Southern belle. So regardless of whether I'm on OWN or any other network, I'm not about to talk about my sexual endeavors as a grown-ass woman over 50 out in these streets.
So as if you were Tisha's mama?
Right. Right. So no, it just hit me because I was like, what's the big deal? You clearly kind of mentioned that y'all were talking. And I love how she kept saying we're just friends. That's why it clicked for me. Because in the country, if you ain't married, if you ain't that's my friend. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, okay. She gonna play the friend game. Basically, sorry, where did I leave off at? Anyway, okay, so then
she felt like they was moving too fast.
Right. So anyway, then they asked Mel in the confession. Oh, we already talked about that. And then
I know Van said what upset her was the reunion where Martell basically took the side of the Scotts and made it seem like they were dating. And she's like, he knows that that's not true. And she was feeling some type of way. And Melody says that really she feels the reason why he even did that is because he feels like the Scotts are going to help rebuild him. He need their help, basically. In the confessional, Melody says that she heard that Destiny is going to be doing a relaunch for Madanni. And she's going to attend because she doesn't hate her. She's not her enemy. And she wants to continue to support Black businesses. That's what I'm talking about, Mel.
That's what she do.
And she said, you know what? If the Scotts are there, hopefully they don't say anything because there will be problems.
Mel said she ready for that smoke.
She ready. She ready.
Come on.
She ready.
Okay. Martell goes to meet up with Tisha. She quickly jumps into personal matters. They literally, as soon as he got in there, she started talking about Miss Van in a post on social media when they were supposed to be there meeting about business. I thought that was very interesting. However, she does mention that clearly she got Mel and Miss Van a lot of sales. And Martell asked her if he was like, you didn't think she was doing that to be positive? And Tisha was like, no, it was definitely low-key shady. And I love what she says. She says, that's what Miss Van does. She'll do something shady and then be like, I would never do that. I'm a Christian woman. Let me quote a scripture from the Bible. I said, okay, Tisha.
I know. It's like, damn.
So then she tells him about the post that Marceau made. And so Martell instantly realizes that Tisha is being messy. And
he said he don't want a part of it because he's trying to get on good terms with Mel right now.
Right. And he's trying to stay focus on business with them. She tells him about how Miss Van used to work for her at Skull and that she talked to her a lot. And she used to talk about how her and Mark were dating at one point. And she would ask Tisha questions, but not want Mr. Marceau to know because apparently she used to work for them. I was like, this is how you know when your circles get too small. This is why I could never live in the country like that. I would be going to Atlanta to find me a piece. I'm sorry. And even then, you see people they'll drive the 4 hours like it's nothing. So she asked Martell what he wants to do with Sculpt. Martell says he feels like he can be helpful, and make them become a nationwide company, what him and Marceau always dreamed. And she talks about how Marceau says she's emotional and she knows that she can be in her marriage, but not when it comes to business. She lets Marceau, although she believes Marceau thinks that they worked well together, she doesn't think so. And I was like, okay, Tisha, come.
I don't know. Tisha got like a newfound confidence or something this season.
I'm loving it.
Both of them
and Marceau together.
It's like they're both like coming out of their shell or something. I don't know what it is.
So basically, she tells him she didn't think that they worked that well together, and he questions why. And she says that she feels they would work well together under the right leadership, and that's why it's important that she bought him out as the majority shareholder. She talks about how basically there's a new sheriff in town. Okay. And that what she sees is, she was like, when I bought it from you, we were in the negative. Now we're a multi-million-dollar company.
I said, ooh.
I said, can we see more of this, Tisha? Okay. Because I like this, Tisha. So, and she's like, so I just want to make sure that you understand where things may be different than how it was when you first joined us. And as long as you know what direction we're trying to move in.
Not the old Sculpt. This is the new Sculpt.
Right. And then she talks about trust and how they move forward. Martell says that he feels if they felt he was untrustworthy, they wouldn't do business with him, and that he's never really done anything to them for him to not be trusted. That's what I got. I didn't catch the back and forth and all the thoughts that were going through his head, but it felt like, because Martell is clearly not thinking about.
Well, this isn't another scene, but I also think Martell is right in saying that it's not really trust that she's referring to, it's respect. Because if you want to talk about trust, and basically if we're going off of what I said, then the way I would take that is Marcel was trusting you to keep his secrets and you didn't. Otherwise, what trust am I breaking?
Woo, well,
I'm just saying.
That's something to think about.
But basically, she agrees that they are going to wipe the slate clean. They're going to start anew, and
they plan on making billions.
I like that. I
did like that. They do bring up an issue with Destiny's Sweets. I think she mentioned it before last episode. She's having an issue with her landlord. So Tisha has actually decided to just put a stop on that right now, just because I guess she doesn't feel that it makes sense for Destiny to go try to buy this building or lease in this space.
Well, so she basically, I guess they're going to court on whether she can stay there or not. And she doesn't want to do the suites because she'll be spending all this money on making it beautiful, and he can basically rip it right from under her and raise the rent. And she gets, basically Destiny is just out of money because she spent all this money to making it beautiful, and now he can take it from her and lease it to someone else and raise the rent. What's that? What is that? What's that about?
Can we talk about why we're in court with the landlord already?
I thought it was just because she wanted to buy it. No?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It just makes me wonder. You're already, because
I just want to say you're the worst.
Here's my thing. How can he? I guess he can keep it and kick her out or raise the rent or whatever. And yes, that's not beneficial to you, and you would have to move. But you're already renting.
Or extend the lease. But then that would go into what you're saying as to why would he not want to and why you're in court. Listen.
Question.
You know what? What I'm not going to do is
I wish the best for Destiny. I actually feel really bad
because we do know a lot of businesses were suffering during COVID. We know she was one of them, and she even expressed last season that she had some financial problems. So if she was not able to pay her lease or her rent, I can understand. She wasn't even able to pay her employees. So more than likely That's valid. That could really
No,
be
and that's why I
a
was like,
reality.
here, what are we in court for? What are you guys not saying? That's what I was trying to get to.
Well,
What are
there's a
you?
lot that Destiny does not say, but
That would be like, and this is no Destiny. I am not taking shots at you like this. That would be like if Sheree was in court. We want to know why. Because 9 out of 10 we know.
I think we have more information on Sheree than
I
we do.
know, right?
So I think we can kind of all figure why.
Right.
Maurice, Marceau, Lewis, and Martell, they all meet up at Pigskins and Pigs. Apparently, this is like some type of game where you play bowling with a football.
It would have been my vibe. My vibe.
You know how to throw football?
Absolutely.
Properly?
And make it spiral and do all that. Yes.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me though. It doesn't surprise me. She's
Absolutely.
like super sportsy and like competitive, and it doesn't surprise me.
If there was a women's football, actually, there is a women's football league. But if it was like taken seriously, I would be that person.
Her little ass would get tackled.
Oh no, because I'm gonna be the person that's running down the field hauling ass.
So Martell, you can't tell him nothing. He thinks he's about to whoop ass because he is an athlete. Really, and nobody scored except for Maurice.
And apparently Maurice used to be a quarterback. Okay, Brady.
But so did Martell. Okay. And he says, you see who still got it. And it ain't Martell. Okay. So they sit down and they start discussing their children. Martell mentions that he took the kids to support Mel at the amphitheater and feels like, things have gotten a lot better between the two of them. He says she's allowing them to call in the morning and in the afternoon, which he's always wanted. And he says that he even went up to the school to like meet them and eat with lunch with them. I was like, okay. I don't know. He's always been a super dope dad. But Marceau tells him, look, you can't get all your affection from these kids. Are you dating?
I thought this was another cute Marceau moment.
And he says, I know you went on a date with my wife, Tisha. Everybody started busting out laughing.
Right.
Marceau says he just wants to make sure that, he was being a gentleman with his wife and says, we'll be able to recognize your back. Here we go with this back reference. He making fun of it. Martell tells him that, the conversation went really well. Initially, she was uncertain if she was going to be able to trust him. And he felt that once she broke it down, it was more about respect than it was about trust. Marceau says that he explained to her that, at the time, Martell was going through some extreme circumstances and we saw the extreme parts of him. They try to explain to Martell that, they have to outline boundaries in their relationship. So regardless of what happens, you don't cross those boundaries, because Martell didn't seem to really be getting it. Mm-hmm. And in the confessional, Marceau says that, his business feeds his family and he doesn't want to take any risk as far as business or putting his family in jeopardy. And this is why he needs to make sure that it's clear to Martell what he's expecting and, his boundaries.
Right.
Martell also brings up that Tisha mentioned she was the boss and, she says, he says that he really doesn't care as long as, they're able to get the business to where it needs to be.
As long as they can get this money together, because
basically,
I know Martell needed, so he can actually find somebody to help him build on that land that he just standing on.
You're so stupid. Marceau says people look at him, because he has a dominant personality and automatically think that, he steamrolls everything. But Tisha, in the position that she is, basically provides everything that he needs. She checks his ass when he needs to be checked. When he's trying to build up shit, don't think about the damn budget. She checked. No, sir, we cannot do that. We cannot do that. Maurice says that, they both, if they both have great ideas, Tisha can be the tiebreaker. And Marcel says, that worries him because she's always taking Martell's side. And they're usually both wrong. I'm not surprised that he would think that. Marcel probably always thinks that he's right. Maurice tells the guys that, he's proud of them because they've come a long way from where they were to coming back to a working relationship. Martell then says Tisha mentioned that, Marcel was going back and forth with Miss Van. Martell says he doesn't really understand why the posting, was a problem. He felt like she was being supportive, and Marcel is like, Marcel is like, no, he doesn't believe that was a spirit that she had. Okay.
Apparently, Tisha.
What'd you say?
I said apparently he with Tisha on this Miss Van spirit.
That's his wife. He gonna stick beside her.
He gonna stick beside her.
Marcel says, if Tisha and Mel are in the middle of an argument and she posts a picture of Tisha, and that's not petty and it's just being supportive to marriage, well, then guess what? What I posted was supportive to marriage as well. Vanessa Scott. I say, what? Use a shady ass. Use a shady ass.
That was Marcel, but it was funny.
And basically says, it was a picture that Miss Van sent Tisha back when she was dating Mark. And he doesn't understand really why she's saying that they were just friends, because they was dating for a while and she was paying for the D, paying the child support and everything. His words, not mine.
Well, Marcel.
So it's the day of Destiny's relaunch, and she's super excited to be reopening her doors, as well as having multiple vendors. One being Marcel and Tisha's girls, Macy and Mila's polish line, and her cousin with a makeup line called Demir. I don't know. I think the cousin's name is Demi. The line is Demir. So the guests begin to show up, and Miss Wanda comes with, her food supplies, and she wants everybody to taste her food. So Marcel will be more willing to fund this, this food truck investment. Melnika and Martell show up, and Destiny asks, where her boo is, and she says he's stuck at work, and I'm stuck with this fool over here.
Yeah.
She gotta take what she can get. He's like, hold on, whoa, don't be settling. Okay, just leave me out in the cold. Bye-bye. Tisha and Marcel pull up, and Tisha notices that her mom is struggling to unload the SUV. And I think she wanted them to see that, because she's like, well, I need a truck. Okay. And Tisha offers her hands, and Marcel is like, come on, babe, we got places to go. Don't worry about that shit. That's her business. Let her worry about that shit.
Let her figure it out.
Right. So Marcel notices that, he's dressed down compared to everybody else, but he says he really don't give a damn about people getting dressed up. And he really feels that, he should have wore the white fox, because, he needs to level
that was
up.
really giving.
He was taking shade. That was shade. They showed a clip where Martell had his little white fox on for his wine event, because he was doing it was like Coming to America thing, wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
But that's what it was giving.
For some reason, I thought it was Coming to America thing.
No.
Okay, so then Martell as
Nobody else was in character.
Okay, so Martell asked Destiny if she invited Mel, and she's like, Mel's right here. And he's like, no. Did you invite Melody? So she changed the subject. She's like, how you like my black cabinets? Then we see they got some little special guest appearances from Contessa and Scott from Married to Medicine, who came out to support. And out of nowhere, we see this gold G-Wagon that I feel like we've seen before pulling up. It looked like it's Stormy's gold G-Wagon.
Well, and not too many people have a gold G-Wagon, so we know that it's Stormy.
Exactly. We know that's customized. Okay. Right. And I guess Stormy said, you know what? I'm a black business owner. She a black business. We gonna support. We gonna pop up. We gonna show up. So of course, in true own fashion, it is to be continued and seen.
Thank you guys so much for
tuning
into another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. We are season 5, episode 4. Yes. So please, if you have not already, make sure that you like,
you comment,
you subscribe,
and you hit the notification bell.
And yes, please make sure that you are following us on all platforms. Thank
all
you for
platforms.
helping us continue to grow. We love you, Shade Squad. And we will catch y'all in a couple days because Love and Marriage Huntsville will be coming back on. But we love you and appreciate you. Have a good night.
Good night.